Hey, it's Drybear. And we've got some news to cover for Wuthering Waves. Some stuff is on the way and some big changes are being made. So let's dive into what's going on. If you're in game, you can see some of the in-game notices. And one of the biggest one to look at is they're making some adjustments to when they're launching the next patch and when the new banners are coming out because they want to hurry up and get more content to us sooner. They're also going to be giving us another compensation going out tomorrow, June 3rd at 10 UTC plus 8. That's going to be 10 of the Radiant tile, which is the base draw. So you get a free 10 pull on the base banner, or if you still have the beginner or novice banner available, you'll be able to pull from that as well. So those are going to be brought out as well. On top of that, the Yinlin banner, which was originally slated for, I believe, June 12th or 13th, is now going to be going up this week, June 6th through June 26th. Yinlin banner will be going up. So when Thunder pours with the rate up on Yinlin. So we're getting Yinlin early because of that. So that's getting moved up, which is super nice. They're also going to make sure that the wave bands are available in the store earlier for exchange. So you can kind of use that for that as well. It does mean that there's going to be I think the GN banner is going to be dropped low, but the weapon for Yinlin is going up for the same time as well. Absolute Pulsation String Master is going to go up June 6th as well. So that's coming this week. We're going to get Yinlin a little bit earlier than expected. However, this does mean that GN's character trial will close early, so you won't be able to play him in the character trial just because they want to swap that out for Yinlin, and it looks like they have it set up to be a specific set. So whatever the current limited banner is, that's what the character trials are going to be. The Alloy Smelt time limited battle event adjustment is going to be June 6th. They've added in additional astrites, and they're going to extend the duration of it as well. And another time collecting event is going to start the week after, which is, I think, it's a new event, but it was when the banner for Yinlin was supposed to go live. That's going to be more astrites, and they're going to make it last longer as well. There's going to be an echo collecting event that's going to start on June 20th, which I don't think this existed prior. Another new event for the Pioneer podcast so that they can extend that out further. And they're going to, actually the podcast, which is the battle pass, is going to be shortened slightly. They're moving it forward to June 27th. And because of that, they're going to give out free 10,000 podcast EXP so you can make sure that you can get a little bit more based on the time that was lost. They're adding another event, which starts on June 13th and goes to June 27th. This will be a daily survey event that will give you points, and you use it to claim rewards. And inside the event, there will be 800 astrites, a morphable elite class echo, a 1 and 2, and then a premium tuner and a premium sealed tube. So this is going to be another event. So they're basically adding in, not only they're giving us compensation, but they're giving us a whole bunch of new events that didn't exist, and they're moving up the timeline for Yinlin, so she will come in this week. And all of this goodwill and positivity is coming from them because they are basically going through some issues right now. They say that this is their first fully independently developed game, though they did work on the Grey Raven prior to this, but it says, I don't know if they did like an independent split or they end up, buying back their rights, or they just broke off with a partner company or something like that. But there are a lot of issues that are going on in Wuthering Waves that have been putting people off. And so let's talk about some of the major issues, and then we can go in on what they're trying to fix and what they're doing to make sure that you're made whole. Because basically what I get, the vibe I get from this in general, this whole post that they put up, has been that they are genuinely sorry. They want us to have a good experience. There's bugs, there's issues, there's translation errors as well that are causing problems, and they do want to make it right on that, and they're giving us a bunch of compensation for that reason. The first major issue that they've run into is there was a huge translation error on the weapon for Jiyan on his weapon banner, the Verdant Summit. And if you actually go to this weapon and check it out, on the weapon, it previously said that if you use it, every time you use Interskill or Resonance as cast, it increases your heavy attack bonus by 24%. So there's a lot of people, specifically in countries where the translation wasn't as good. This is a Korean company, but they're obviously in Japan, where these kind of games are very big, or a Chinese company, sorry. And so they're able to kind of translate that over, but a mistranslation wrote this weapon as having given you the bonus when you use your resonance ability, which is your E skill, which means every time you press E with a Broadblade user using this weapon, it'll give you the bonus. That was a translation error. It is actually not not your resonance ability. It is your resonance liberation, which is your ultimate, which is a very different implementation. It obviously has a much less frequent occurrence because you're going to have to build up your resonance liberation, your ultimate, and then cast that. And on top of it, it means that it's less accessible for other characters as well that may be swapping in, using the resonance, and swapping out, depending on the team comp that you have. So that was a major issue in the cases where, specifically in Japan, where a lot of people had spent $1,000 to $2,000, a whole bunch of yen in order to get this weapon because it was so good, finding out later that the translation was not actually correct and the weapon doesn't do what they thought it did was actually a huge bummer for them. Now, they did make a lot of the people whole that were really pissed about it, which was like sharks and whales, right? If you're someone who did a couple rolls on this, or you didn't get it from your free rolls, you probably weren't affected by this. It was the Japanese translation that was affected by this. They did actually offer anyone that kind of came to them directly through a sign-up feature or through email saying, hey, we want refunds on the rolls we got because the weapon didn't do what you said it did. They did that, but unfortunately, they actually revealed and doxed all the emails by responding in BCC to everyone that requested that, which means that everyone that requested to get their refunds on those rolls ended up getting everyone else's email that was there. So they're having all kinds of administrative and clerical issues going on around that. On top of that, they've had a whole bunch of database errors and configuration errors. There's actually a situation that happens right now with Mech Abomination that if you use the 5 of 5 Lingering Tunes set, he actually does less damage than if you use the 2 out of 2. There's some kind of issue. I don't know exactly what the bug is. There's some kind of configuration that they've set up in the DB where if you switch to the 5 of 5 on Mech Abomination, his damage output actually goes down. Even though Lingering Twos says his outro skill damage goes up, it actually makes it worse. There's another bug as well on the Impermanence Heron that's making it so the 5-star version of the Impermanence Heron is actually doing less damage than the 4-star version. So there's a bunch of really big issues going on in the game right now. So let's see what they're doing to address those problems. So they started by saying, we apologize for the deficiencies and issues. And there's a lot of things going on. There wasn't even an issue. Like I haven't even covered all the problems here. There's an issue where when you combine echoes, you wouldn't get the right echo out or even at the right rarity out. So the first one they're going to look at is echo development feels grindy and inadequate energy materials. And some of this is with the drop rate of the echoes. Some of it was with the stats of the echoes. And in some cases, if you have to get a different set bonus than naturally occurs on that echo, the grind can get really, really nasty. So they will launch a limited time echo material double yield event cord cleansing. This is what we looked at in game already. And this will come with the update as well. And in a future update for 1.1, they will adjust the progression system to reduce the shell credit cost of echo development, to remove the reward cutscene of the tacit field. So you don't have to worry, like if you're farming it over and over, you don't have to worry about like zooming in if you're just trying to get tacit field drops for that. And moving forward, the yield of echoes and echo development materials will be increased. So long term with 1.1, they want the echoes to drop more often and the materials that you need to develop your echoes to drop more often as well, which is super nice. And they'll introduce a waypoint storage system, which should help with that problem as well. There's also an issue with the recycling system where the amount of shell credits obtained when recycling developed echoes was wrong. Other issues with drops there. And this is why they're going to be giving us a free drop of compensation of 1 million shell credits to help with that issue. This was mostly affecting people that were kind of like hard pushing into the 30s, trying to get to 40 and plus on your union levels so that they would end up burning out all their shell credits with their high expense on the characters. But there was functional errors with that system, and they're trying to make that right by giving every account shell credit times 1 million, and they'll be distributing that by or on June 10th as well. And again, they apologize for how they handled it and how the wording was in the announcement. And a lot of the vibe I'm getting is that they're kind of learning as they're going on how to keep players happy and how to manage communication. And they do seem quite remorseful about what's going on. Whereas sometimes you just won't hear anything from the company at all. They don't seem to care. It does seem like they're kind of hurt and they're cared. So get 1 million shell credits. And they're also going to be giving 20 crystal solvents as well in order to make up for any losses you may have had with lost echoes echoes or with time lost while trying to echo it as well. Now, the next one is the error in Verdant Summit that we talked about in Japan specifically, but there might have been other issues with this weapon in other regions as well. It was purely just a translation error that led to a big misunderstanding. So rather than I mean, they're giving refunds to people that request it in Japan that may have spent a lot of money to try and get this weapon on false pretenses. They're going to be refunding those people that we talked about, but they're also going to be offering a one-time compensation for all rovers for the known localization issue, 5 Forging Tides, and this allows you to pull the banner that has the weapon 5 times. So that's, that could end up being a good draw for some people that get pretty lucky. Also look out for that on June 3rd, tomorrow at 10 a.m. UTC +8, along with the other 10 pulls we're getting for the Radiant Ties as well. They have also gotten a bunch of feedback on the Overdash Club event in-game. This one just started a couple days ago, and it means that you're going around to the world and doing Overdash racing events to get rewards. However, a lot of people have expressed complaints and issues because it unlocks day by day and then ends shortly after that time period ends. So it feels like a lot of people that may have jobs or other things going on can't get the full value out of the Overdash Club event. And so because of that, they're going to let that one process, but they're also going to be introducing that other event we talked about, Wuthering Exploration, which will give new rewards and more bonuses as well. And this one will last even longer with all the extra bonus. You're looking at 800 Astrites in that one, 2 morphable elite class echoes, a premium tuner, and a premium sealed tube as part of that. And moving forward, they want to ensure that the collection events last long enough for people to be able to play them and complete them and be part of it. So if you're out of town for a couple days or you miss a day, it doesn't feel like you're going to be unable to get the rewards there. They're going to try and plan that a little bit better going forward. On top of this, they say that they're grateful for all the feedback and time people have put into the game. And they said that they're trying to respond to feedback that there's not enough content in the game or enough storylines to progress, and there's not enough to do once you've gotten through Chapter 1, Act 6. And so because of this, this is why they're going to be moving forward Yinlin. So the event that was supposed to be June 13th is now June 6th. So you'll be able to move up and pick that up. And along the same time, when Yinlin comes out on June 6th in a couple days, they're also going to be doing the Convene event with her and the companion story event for her as well. So we have 2 of those as well on top of that. Then on top of this, they're going to be moving up the 1.1 release. So they talked about all the changes they want to make in 1.1, making echoes easier to drop, new content. This new content, which is coming at the end of June 28th, so just 4 weeks from now, it will include a new area, the Mount Firmament, and they're also going to be adding Jinxi and Cheng-Li at this time. So if you did the main story, you know who these characters are, or you at least met them, and they're going to add a new boss, which I'm not going to read because that feels very spoilery. However, on top of this, they're going to be including another compensation of another 10 Radiant Tides. So tomorrow we're going to get more Radiant Tides with this event because they're changing the patch schedule. They're going to include more Radiant Tides. We're going to get 5 of the Forging Tides on top of 3 new characters coming at the end of the month and a new area that they're kind of trying to rush out and get to us as fast as possible. They also have a whole section going over combat and control. This is really big for different platforms. So they have issues where on PC you have a lot of auto aim going on where your character will like flip around camera and dash at something you didn't expect. So a lot of issues going there. They said they're going to turn this off by default on PC, which they already did, and they're going to be optimizing that as well. They're also going to be fixing an issue where bosses can exist in combat even though they're not really in combat, which you can see by this clip here. Some people have been able to burn down bosses by hitting them just outside of their range with ranged characters by spamming taps on mobile. So you can actually, zoom in ADS and then fire and then do it over and over and over. So you have like Impermanence Heron, Thundering Mephis. Some of these bosses can just be cheesed by sitting just outside their range where you're still counted in combat, but the boss won't come towards you. So they're going to add in some disengagement features where if the boss can't attack anything, it's going to reset itself so you can't cheese it, and also added the extended the aggro range for some of these bosses that have more larger areas that allow you to cheese it as well. So they'll be adjusting this issue too. They'll be doing changes to custom key binding. Some of the things can't be rebound right now, which is really good, and they also don't even allow you to change your key binds until you hit a level, probably to prevent bots and things like that. But they're lowering that down to Union level 2, which is basically like 30 seconds into the game. It's very, very short. You have to make your account log log in and fight a mob and you'll be good to go. Sounds like they're doing some general improvements to feedback and experience when playing the game around just the game design itself, and they're making some adjustments to controller keybinds and controller flow. There was an issue, some of my chat mentioned that this happened to them, but there were no purchase limits for the items in the store. So that some people accidentally like pushed minus on the quantity and bought the max amount of like eggs or whatever, and it used all of their shell credits, which they couldn't refund. So I guess they're adding a limit for flour and things like that so that you don't accidentally spend all your money in one go. They're going to be fixing a whole bunch of issues with performance, crashes, instability, hitches, things like that, audio and sound bugs. And then they're going to be making some improvements as well to their roguelite mode, Depths of Elusive Realm. It says that in the next update, which is the end of the month, they'll be further improving this event and adding new content, more playable characters, new challenges, new mechanics, and new buffs. I think this is great because I actually really love the Depths of Elusive Realm, their roguelite mode. Super fun and unique. You get to actually become the echoes that you have, and you can have different, RNG roguelite effects affecting your character, and some of the challenges are pretty challenging, which is cool. So seeing them extend this is really nice. So they're basically just saying, hey, we've been making a lot of mistakes. We acknowledge that we're making a lot of mistakes. We're doing everything we can to try and make it better. And the fact that they're even acknowledging that and also being very generous at the same time, we're going to get, another 20 Radiant Tides, 5 Forging Tides. They're going to give us 1 million shell credits, 20 of the Echo tuners that you need from spending wave plates. They're adding in a whole bunch of features that hopefully make the game better. They're moving up Yinlin to be this week. They're adding Jinxi and Changli at the end of the month, a new region and a new boss as well. So overall, it seems like they're moving forward and they're trying to make Wuthering Waves as good as possible. But I wanted to cover all of these for people that may not have heard about these things or are just looking forward to the future of Wuthering Waves. If you found value in today's video, leave a like down below, leave a comment for the algorithm to help this video get seen by more people, and don't forget to check out my other channels for other content and other stuff and other things.